Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Erlenmeyer mini pendant, though it's not quite mini. There's also other Erlenmeyers. There's dotting pendants, and there's also other mini pendants. Check those out too. So this is the 187200, lots to touch on here. So let's dive into first the size of the body of the fixture. That's going to be from the bottom of the glass to the top of that arc that you see in the picture. So you're looking at 13.5 inches tall, and then you've got 6 inches by 8 inches because it's kind of a metal to metal measurement on one side and glass to glass on the other side. Overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the bottom of the glass to the actual ceiling, is going to give you a range, and we'll get into how that range happens. At its shortest, this can be 16 inches. At its longest, it can be 61. If you need this to be longer than the long, let's say you need this to be 86 or 94, drop me a quick email saying you're looking at the 187200 and you need it to be X, a solid number. I'm going to take your email, I'm going to send it to Hubbardton Forge's customs department. It's going through a couple engineers, and it'll come back to me with information that I can send to you. Adds a little time, adds a little money, but we do it every day. Not a big deal, okay? So when we get into overall height again, we're talking about 16 to 61. 16 inches is basically a semi-flush, so you're going to be able to see this video is also in our semi-flush area on our website. 61 is awesome too. How Hubbardton Forge can do this is they use these interconnecting rod system, and basically you have a bunch of different rods in different sizes with these little connectors in between which have threading on both ends. There's threading on the inside of the rods as well. You're going to be getting 3 pieces of the 12, 1 of the 6, and 1 of the 3, and you kind of use them in different ways to get the length from the ceiling to the bottom of the glass of what you guys are looking for. How we put these together, well, let's hop into the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on this side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say, click here for installations instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It is going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you information about the canopy. It's going to show you great drawings about the canopy as well. How we put this together, you're going to be laying out a couple towels and end to end on a counter, and you're just going to, without the glass goes in at the very end, you're going to lay the parts out in line after you've done the math to see which pipes you need to get the length you want. So you're going to put down the part that has the socket, then you're going to put a connector, then you're going to put a pipe and a connector, and eventually you're going to end up here at the end with the canopy. And then you're going to just snake the wire through each of those parts, and then when you're done, that's when you're going to just put them together, and it's a nice clean look. You can barely even see there's a seam there. Okay? Very, very easy. Canopy on the ceiling, 5.5 inches in diameter, and it's going to hang from your 4-inch junction box. If you are working with a cathedral ceiling and you're going to have a slope going on, this is already set up to be slope ceiling adaptable with a knuckle built at the top, allowing it to be 45 degrees slope ceiling adaptable, so you guys are all set there. It's not a very heavy fixture, so it just hangs from a junction box, a normal junction box, and you are good to go. Okay, let's hop into what's inside of this. I want to touch on the glass really quick. It's a beautiful, very thick, hand-blown piece of glass. I don't know if you can see how thick this is on the bottom. You know, it's a big deal. All the Hubbardton Forge glass is beautifully done. It's all hand blown, so you know, take advantage of it. Okay, moving on from there. Remember that this is a clear piece of glass. You're going to be able to see the light bulb through it, and we'll get into some of the things about all that. I would recommend using some kind of decorative bulb. You're limited to an A19 bulb, which is actually a good size. This is just the regular size bulb we grew up with. You could use this, but I doubt you're going to use this because it's not an attractive bulb. This is an attractive bulb, and they actually make Edison bulb shapes in this size that you can use too. So you can make this kind of look old-timey, kind of a retro look if you want to. This is an LED. It's a phosphorus LED. That's what those orange lines are. These max out. You know, you can get these up to like 100-watt incandescent if you want to. However, this is a 60-watt max for incandescent, so let me go back on that one for a second. But when you get into LED, incandescent equivalent. So we'll say you've got a 60-watt max for an incandescent bulb, but you've got up to the sky's the limit for an LED. It really comes down to what I can get into the glass. Okay, so they say A19 max, but you might be able to find this in some other funky shapes. And there's no limit because LEDs don't generate heat, they generate light, and The heat thing is what limits you on wattage, okay? I also talk about all the time that you have to look at the color of the light coming out of the LED bulbs when you are buying LED bulbs. 2700 Kelvin is super yellow. That's kind of like a setting sun or an incandescent bulb that's been dimmed down quite a lot. The other extreme on that is going to be what's called daylight, and that's a bit of a misnomer because people think daylight is kind of the warm setting sun. It's not. Daylight is 4,000, 5,000 on the Kelvin scale, and that's like a hospital waiting room. That's a blue light. So I would be very careful when you guys are looking for your bulbs. What you should really look at is 3,000 Kelvin. 3,000 Kelvin is considered warm white in the LED world. The light that's coming down on my hands from the LEDs above, this is 3,000 Kelvin. It's a beautiful light. People think this is incandescent when they come into our showroom. They don't even know that these are LEDs. I have to kind of like take the bulb out and actually even show them. That's probably where you should go. It's also a dimmable fixture, so just remember when you're looking at your bulbs to buy a dimmable bulb, and tell your installer you're going to be using a dimmable LED. Another quick thing is when you're putting these over a kitchen island, a couple things. Because you're going to be able to see the glass and see the bulb through the glass, I tend to like these a little higher than a lot of the other pendants that have opaque glass. I tend to like them a little over my eye line. So just remember that when you are putting these together and kind of measuring out your lengths, you may elect to have them 36 inches over the counter as opposed to 30 inches, which a lot of the other ones are. The other cool thing about this is, it starts off at 16 inches, so you can use it as a semi-flush someplace in your house. You can also use it over the sink as a semi-flush. That way, if you're standing up, you won't be looking right into it. It'll be above. And remember, the other cool thing, when you have pendants higher, the cast of light spreads more. So that's just something you should remember. Let's get into finishes now. If you're on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over on this side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a tab. It's going to say Finishes Help Guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video on there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be talking about a chart a little farther down on the page. You'll see it next to me here. It's going to kind of go over the differences between heavy forging and non-heavy forging, and it'll be talked about in that video. So it's really important that you kind of watch the video, use the chart. You can click on that chart on different things. So you can click on dark smoke and a big page will pop up and show you lots of different things in dark smoke. Click on burnished steel or natural iron, it'll do the same thing. But it's really important that you understand how Hubbardton Forge's finishes are kind of divided into translucent and opaque and how they can look on different fixtures. Our showroom in Vermont has we're up to 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's on Display page. It's way up there in those red tabs again, so click on that and you can see what we have to show you. That changes all the time because we're always adding things as they come out. Showroom's open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. We have an amazing clearance center here too. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you were coming to visit us, bring a good-sized vehicle, something like a big SUV or maybe a small truck or something like that, because you might find something in the clearance center that you want to take home, and it's a lot of fun to go through. 75% off MSRP is an amazing bargain, so you should really take advantage of it if you can. Like I said, we're open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call us at 802-446-2400 during business hours. You can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. We love to answer emails. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We'll always tell you about that. It'll be in the description thing, that part of the description underneath on the very bottom. So keep an eye out for that. We also offer a rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. They don't stock anything. That's how you're going to get all your finishes, your adjustable ranges to play with, all those things. We can cut that time in half, and it's super inexpensive. If you want to know more, drop a quick email, and I can walk you through the whole thing, okay? So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Love to see you in our showroom sometime, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.